everything is finished up here. The team has banned out Kha'Zix, LeBlanc, and solo queue bans. Kha'Zix is a little bit less common, but still a popular and strong jungler. I wouldn't mind seeing... Well, they already banned out Jax and Kayle. That's what I was going to suggest that they could use that on. But yeah, overall, good bans there. Then Purple Team has banned out Jax, Kayle, and Master Yi. I don't agree with the Master Yi ban in the current state of the game. Since the Feral Flare nerfs, I just don't think he's that much of a threat. I mean, yes, if Yi is snowballed, he's going to be terrifying. But I don't see much reason to ban him over other junglers, supports, or top laners in the current meta. In terms of picks, we have another mid lane Zed, a top lane Singed, a Lucian Morgana bot lane, and a Xin jungle. Xin is a pretty good abuser of Feral Flare. He's one of the few champions who's still popular who abuses it. That being said, I'm not personally a big fan of Xin in solo queue. I find that he kind of falls off late game in terms of just what he can set up. He kind of jumps into a fight, knocks people away, and either assassinates that one target or dies. And when you compare that to what a lot of other junglers are capable of setting up, it feels slightly lackluster to me. In terms of purple teams then, they have picked up a Katarina, I'm assuming Katarina mid, a Yasuo top, a Twitch Zyra bot lane, and a Vi jungle. Twitch is going to have some issues here, because you're versus a Zed, a Singed, and a Xin. So that's going to be 3 different people capable of jumping on you and essentially just instantly killing you. Obviously, Singed isn't as much burst, but he's going to throw you out of position, and you're going to die just as quickly. So I'm interested to see if they're able to truly protect him, and their team really doesn't have that much peel. All they have is Zyra. Vi can play aggressively, but her peel is pretty bad. Yasuo can play aggressively and sometimes set some stuff up in terms of just like wind walls or like a clutch knock-up, but not necessarily a peel champion. And Katarina has nothing to peel besides CCing people through death. So the Twitch pick, I would have maybe communicated that to the team a little bit, maybe asked them what they were going to play, and maybe adjusted my pick accordingly. But Twitch is very, very, very strong in the current state of the game, so it's not as though it's a bad pick, it's just a slightly risky pick. Anyways, do you have any comments on general picks, bans, or team comps here?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you about the Twitch pick. I think Twitch is really strong. He's like a huge bully in lane, and he can get an advantage pretty easily. But again, like you said, they have Xin Zhao, they have Singed, they have Zed, so it's going to be very difficult if he doesn't position well during team fights. But looking at Purple Team's team comp, they have a very good amount of like CC and AoE. So if they can all just stay together during team fights, I think they can deal with Blue Team. But yeah, you're definitely right. Blue Team, I think, has a bit of the advantage here.
Mm-hmm. My real concern there is that, let's say Morgana lands a binding. How are you going to respond to that? The only thing you really can do is drop down like a Zyra ult or Roots, and then Yasuo wind wall. And if the enemy team's already ahead, well, you've just lost whoever got hit by the binding, and then Singed is free to run in, flip any priority targets who are still left alive. Lucian can kite quite effectively versus anyone on this team. I mean, Vi is going to ult in. Well, Morgana Black Shield onto Lucian. Okay. Then he just dashes away and returns with a good amount of burst. So I'm just wondering how Purple Team is going to have to play this in order to really set up fights for themselves. And the only thing that pops to mind is just snowballing really heavily and assassinating people before Blue Team can really group up.
Yeah.
Okay, so the game is actually starting. I believe you can spectate. That's the word. You can spectate off of me now.
Alright, I'm spectating your game. I think Xin Zhao versus Vi, I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. I think both of them are really strong gankers. And Xin Zhao with his Feral Flare will be incredibly strong. I think he might be a little stronger than Vi this game. I'm not a huge fan of Vi in general.
I still like Vi, but the question is, who's going to have the cleaner, more reliable ganks pre-6? And Xin is the easy answer, because he's point and click, boom, you're dead. Whereas Vi, it's a skill shot, then chaining in, weaving auto attacks between skills, chasing and setting up kills. There's no hard CC there pre-6, besides just a quick little knockback.
And I think Xin Zhao definitely has like the team to follow up a lot more. Like Zed ultimate, Singed can throw them over the shoulder. Morgana can land a bind. So I think pre-6 Xin Zhao should be winning in terms of ganking and presence.
And he's versus very squishy opponents, and that's why I really am worried about him, because, well, anyone he goes on to should be a kill.
hmm I don't like the Zyra pick. I think she used to be a very strong support, and right now she's just not. I don't think she's a very strong mid laner or a very strong support.
The only time I feel Zyra is a good pick right now is versus Braum. She absolutely wrecks Braum.
I've actually never seen that matchup. That'd be really interesting to see.
Well, because you can place the plants and everything behind his wall.
Oh, I never realized. Yeah, that sounds really good.
You place the plants behind his wall. You can peel anytime they try and engage onto you. And Braum is super, super weak to poke, and Zyra is one of the strongest poke mages in the game in terms of just like damage potential.
Oh yeah, and she's very like anti-initiation.
So it's a very, very strong counter pick to Braum. But outside that, I completely agree with you that I just don't think it's the best support pick right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. My opinion on supports at the moment is that Thresh, Morgana, Karma, and Braum are the top 4 supports.
You're definitely right with those 4.
Yeah, that's what I've been telling people, and everyone keeps yelling at me about Leona, and it's just like, consistency, counter picks. It's not that she's a weak support.
Leona can be countered really easily by like Thresh or Morgana.
Yeah, everyone yells at me when I say that, and it's just like, it's not that she's a bad support, it's just there's better ones.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Looks like purple team is going to be trying to defend their blue here. And Vi is going to be starting blue with...
So Xin actually
Xin
has...
Zhao.
There we go. Yeah, he's back.
Yeah, okay. I'm guessing Xin is probably going to start red.
Yeah, that'd be what would make sense. I always say that you should start where your AD carry is, unless you're super, super blue reliant. You may or may not have seen much of it in solo queue. What's your opinion on Twitch jungle?
I've seen it in solo queue, and the 2 times I have seen it in solo queue, it was just a troll, so...
Oh, okay.
My opinion on it is very negative.
Yeah, I've been talking about it for the last while, about, like, I ban Twitch because he's a stupidly strong AD carry, and his jungle is just so punishing to people who don't know how it works.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see his jungling being pretty stupid, with the stealth and his slow.
Yeah.
Just gank whatever lane he wants.
The general playstyle I've seen is, well, he can constantly reset buffs, so he takes no damage clearing his jungle. So he does red buff, comes mid right at level 2, and he stealths onto you, runs exhaust. So it's pretty much a guaranteed kill or flash. And then he's still full health to do the rest of his jungle.
Yeah, no, in theory, it sounds incredibly strong. I haven't seen anyone actually do it well.
So starting builds are all relatively standard. I have no complaints there. Personally, I prefer not to start a ward on supports. I just rely on the trinket, but that's just me really liking potions.
I think it really depends on how you play support. If you can use those potions to your advantage and use them to poke down the enemy bot lane, you should get the potions. Where if you're trying to go for a more safer route, I think a ward start it's okay.
I've actually never seen this matchup before, and I'm kind of finding it entertaining because Singed Poison, it just sort of like pops Yasuo's shield, and Yasuo just dances around and it fills right back up. Like, this seems like it should be a really easy lane for Yasuo as he scales up.
Yasuo is a really strong laner, and Singed is very weak early.
So
both AD carries down in bot lane taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, pretty much just trading back and forth. I'm surprised that didn't go more in favor of blue side, only because they landed the binding. But Twitch was able to return damage, and Morgana didn't commit to the fight. If I was Morgana, just lace auto attacks onto them. It's not a lot of damage, but as long as you're not taking a significant amount of return damage, you're still making that trade go more in your own advantage.
I think it's also like we were talking about that Zarya does the most damage as a support. Like she does the most AP damage, and also Twitch is just such a bully. But I think they're just kind of out damaging. And up in top lane, Ignite going down on Singed, and Yasuo will be getting the first lead. Yasuo is just so strong in lane.
Yeah, this isn't surprising at all. It's exactly what you'd expect to see. Now, that being said, red buff Zin's out. If he's able to chain this properly... No, Vi's showing up for the counter gank. That's a wasted flash. I don't agree with that flash for two reasons. He could have stayed in range simply by canceling his auto attack animation a little bit more efficiently, and also because, well, Vi is showing up.
Yeah, that was a wonky flash. Down in mid lane, we see Zed very low from Katarina's just poke and harass. I find that a little interesting. I feel like Zed would kind of have the advantage here.
The difference is that she started boots, so she had 4 potions, and she's used all of them. So obviously he has returned harass, but she's just been potioning through it the entire laning phase.
That's really interesting. I actually didn't notice, and I never thought that would, It's been a while since, like, 4 potion mid has worked.
It's generally
Also
what Katarina
down the
runs
bot
just
lane.
because there's not much other options. Yeah, it was a very nice binding bot able to set that up.
However, I don't agree with the flash from Morgana. I think she would have been perfectly fine. She probably just freaked out there and just popped it just in case, but...
I find that with a lot of lower rated players, they just flash for no reason.
It's definitely something that comes with experience and knowing how much damage you're going to take and knowing whether they're capable enough to kill you. And they have killed Twitch, probably by a Morgana snare. I didn't catch that.
She's been landing some good snares this game. I also want to point out, Singed is having a huge amount of issues last hitting. He's using his entire mana pool just sort of walking through minions to try and clear them with poison, but he's missing essentially every single one. He needs to be using his auto attacks in order to secure those last hits. If not, this lane is just going to go further and further against him.
Oh yeah, I think the issue is every time Singed goes in to try and auto attack a creep, the Yasuo just auto attacks him relentlessly.
So Zin trying for a counter gank here, a natural gank here. Not going to do anything though. Katarina hitting level 6 first, does not blow her ult, but gets a lot of damage onto Zed. Katarina does have Ignite, so if Zed uses his Shadow for any reason, I would expect her to just jump in and one-shot him.
Down in mid lane, they're both so incredibly low, and Zed has used a shadow, but Katarina, I think will be backing.
Yeah, she's down an item or two because she hasn't gone back yet.
Which is interesting because I feel like since Vi is near, she really should just and they will be ulting each other, and both of them go down. I think what should have happened there is Katarina should have waited for Vi, because Zed hasn't put any down any wards at all around mid lane. So if Katarina had just baited that a little better and Vi had come around through one of the bushes, they could have gotten like an easy kill on him.
I have a strong complaint against Lucian here. He's rushed to Sheen. You don't do that on any AD carry. Doesn't matter what ADC you're playing. Bloodthirster first, always. Well, unless you're playing someone who uses Blade of the Ring King. Yeah, there's not a single AD carry in the game that I would build Trinity Force first on. So we see a lot of back and forth trading bot. Everyone's just sort of trying to bind each other. As soon as bind goes down, it's a crazy, crazy amount of burst, and then they just sort of walk away with low health. So I'm honestly surprised that Singed is not further behind in CS than he is, given his relatively mediocre CSing skills that I've seen, and just how much Yasuo has been winning the lane by.
A Morgana ultimate going down into both of them, getting a snare onto Twitch, and another kill will be going down onto Zyra. No, Lucian does not get the final auto attack.
Katarina is coming in from the side. They're both incredibly low. I'd expect this to be a complete reset. First kill goes down. Oh.
And the snare. What a good snare from Morgana. She's been consistently landing those.
It was a very nice snare, but if the ward was placed just slightly faster from Katarina, she would have been able to Shumpo over the snare and then clean up the second kill.
Yeah, she definitely walked into it.
So, yeah, good decision by Vi not to go mid. I was seeing her try and walk up there, and if you do that, you're going to die. You're going to die and give away double buffs. Oh, and there it is.
She's still trying to, yep.
Boom. I see a lot of people do that, and every time I do it, I just cringe so much. If you don't have the health to do a fight, then don't try and hold the wave. Even if you're not intending to fight, well, they're going to force one.
I see a lot of junglers do that, especially. Like, not really any other role, but junglers in particular will try and come into a lane when they're too low and expect something, like, miraculous to happen. It's like, no.
Back in bot lane, I want to point out Lucian is about 20 CS up, in addition to his 2 kills and an assist.
Yeah, Twitch and Zyra have both been playing very carefully, and they've been getting just kind of outzoned. I think they're really just afraid of those Morgana snares. And Twitch's auto attack has a pretty short range.
Yeah, he needs to be able to set up a decent engage if he wants to get ahead. As people have been commenting in the LCS the last little while, Twitch actually outdamages Lucian early game, even when behind.
Oh no, definitely, yeah.
And I just found it funny because like the LCS casters are going on and on about how Lucian just is always going to win trades and blah blah blah, and then you see Twitch just dominating every trade if they can get in range.
I think what needs to happen is that as soon as Morgana misses her snare, Twitch and Zyra should go in for the harass or the poke or the fight. Because the snare has a relatively long cooldown.
Yep.
Here down in bot, we see another Morgana ultimate going down near tower, but they will be disengaging because of the Zyra ult. We see Vi and Katarina coming around as well, probably trying to force another fight bot lane.
In the meantime, Yasuo gets another kill top. Just taking a quick peek at that, it's essentially the same thing where it's just a very poor matchup for him, and it's not anything against him as a player, but it's just not something that he's going to have much chance of winning at this stage. Alright, so the flash knockup goes down from Xin, and then he just sort of walks away. Kind of odd.
I think he figured for some reason that Yasuo would go the other way instead of towards his tower. I don't know why.
That's another shining example of why you use attack move.
Yeah.
Alright, so I want to take another quick peek at mid lane. Both mid laners are dead even. Both are 2-1-0. Both have around 80 CS. What's going to really be the deciding factor here is who roams better. Katarina obviously has the more reliable burst roam, just to catch anyone who's low, one-shot them, and then quickly run away. That being said, though, Zed is going to have the better assassination dueling potential. Let's say if he's able to get some wards into the jungle, he could quite easily assassinate Vi as she's clearing camps. So I would like to see him focus onto that size of roaming instead of just walking to other lanes, just because of his relatively low mobility. I mean, yes, he has shadows, but you're generally not using those to jump around the map.
Also, up in top lane, we see kind of 30 to 40 CS difference between Yasuo and Singed. Like consistently, it's been that many. And I'd like to say a lot of people get worried about CS difference when it comes to top lane, but I think it really doesn't matter all that much. And I think even 30 or 40 CS difference, like, it's gonna sound terrible, but in top lane, it really isn't a big deal, if that makes sense. Because, like, if you think about it, Singed is gonna be more of a late game, you know, while Yasuo will dominate him early and mid. So as long as Singed doesn't feed the Yasuo too many kills and kind of denies him a little bit of CS as this lane goes, I think it's really fine.
Oh yeah, it's not in any way costing them the game. It's just I would like to see him working on his last hitting skills. That's something that you should be comfortable with on any of your main champions. It should not require excessive focus. You should be getting any CS. So just a quick comment for Morgana. I've seen her do that same thing in a number of different fights now. Ooh, Twitch going in. Okay. I don't know if he expunged early or what.
I think he did expunge too early there.
Katarina coming around for the cleanup. Let's see if she can dodge the Morgana binding this time. No.
Nope. She knows Lucian is in that bush, so Lucian will not get away. That's about the third time we've seen Katarina come down to try and kill them when they were low.
And that's exactly what you should be doing as a Katarina. So good roam there. As I was mentioning towards the last hitting, though, if you're going to main a champion, you need to be able to comfortably CS with them when behind, when ahead, and in various stages of the game. So practicing in a quick custom game is a pretty easy way to just take a couple minutes, refine your last hitting, and build up a very easy advantage for yourself. As you mentioned, though, it's not going to cost them the game.
I think what tends to happen a lot in top lane is people get very, very discouraged, and I think people start playing on a tilt a lot faster than they do in any other lane. Like they see, oh, I'm down like 20 CS. People don't normally play top lane. They see that they're down by like this enormous amount of CS, and they get really discouraged, and they never want to fight the enemy top lane, and they never want to ask for ganks or, you know, keep CSing. And I think as long as you do know how to CS with that champion, like you said, like it's all right to understand as a top laner, you are going to lose lanes, and you are going to lose a lot of CS.
Great re-engage, actually, coming out from the... Sorry, I could hear myself through your speakers. From the Singed and Zed there.
Also, down in bot lane, Morgana getting another ult onto them, but Katarina, again, consistently, she has ganked this bot lane. It's pretty funny. And like you said, this is what she should be doing as Katarina.
Her Shumpo's about to come up. Her flash is already up. So as soon as Twitch pushes this in, it's going to be another kill over to them. Honestly, she didn't need to flash there. She would have taken one more turret shot and kept her flash up.
Also, up in top lane, I'm very surprised that Vi did not die. I think Sin should have stayed on her.
So just keeping a quick eye on Xin. He has no defensive items here. They had 3v1, and Katarina had ult and ignite up. I think they could have just one-shot him there if they really wanted to go for it. A quick Zyra route into a Katarina full combo and Twitch auto attacks, that would be pretty quick.
Not quite sure why Zed is still top lane, or why he was in that bush. He really could have just gone back to tower and backed.
What I was hoping to see in bot lane was either taking down Xin immediately and then taking tower, cycling over to dragon, or simply abandon the tower if you know they're going to respond quickly enough and taking away the dragon. Either way, get some global gold for yourselves. Continue the snowball across the map, and then you can reset right after and do whatever you would like.
Yeah, I don't think Dragon has been taken once this game, has it?
I haven't seen it, no.
That's a pretty normal thing. I think in like low elo games, is you just see no one ever going for Dragon, which is so strange to me. Because typically, as soon as it's up, I have junglers that are like, okay, team, let's go.
Yep. Yeah, if you get any sort of kill or even just forcing them back bot lane, it's like boom, dragon immediately. Oh, Vi not quite able to connect with her Q, but does connect with the ult. Katarina coming down yet again. This poor blue team, they must feel so focused at this time.
I really think blue team just needs to be paying more attention to the map because they have the ward coverage. I don't... And this has happened so many times that I don't know why they don't expect it at this point.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen, so why are you still surprised when it does?
Yeah. But blue team does take advantage of it, and they do take mid tower. But again, the Zed kind of overstaying here.
Alright, so Katarina going to be able to clean this up.
And that's really the last person you want to take that kill.
Yeah, someone in chat earlier mentioned that they didn't like the Katarina build, and she has opted to go for an early Crystal Scepter. It's an okay item, but not the most ideal item on Katarina. I would normally expect to see a rushed DFG, and the reason behind that is that you might not necessarily need the damage, but it 100% ensures that you can assassinate people. And assuming you can assassinate people, then you're going to get a reset, and you're going to be able to cycle out either for an escape or to combo onto further targets. The alternative build I've seen is still stacking triple Magic Pen items, so Source Boots, Haunting Guise, and an Abyssal Scepter. That's still a viable build, but it's more of a AoE-centered one rather than single target burst.
Yeah, I think especially since she's so ahead right now and she's gotten so many ganks down in bot lane, she really... I feel like that's too safe of an item.
I would want to see her playing aggressive, balls to the wall, with her being this fed. She's 5-1 and 3 by 20 minutes. This dragon's still not being focused at all.
Nope.
Purple team is cycling down to try and defend this tower. What I want to see happen is one final gank from Katarina, 1 kill or 2 kills, however many they get, cycle that into dragon and bot tower, which, sorry, they've already taken the outer tower, but they can try and focus the inner tower, and then in the meantime send one split pusher such as Yasuo up to a different lane. Because Yasuo's already proven he can duel pretty much anyone at this stage of the game.
We see a purple team now finally taking the tower, and since I was kind of aware of this, just kind of dancing around, we'll be going in, and purple team will be taking the dragon.
Not an
Morgana
issue.
does go in by herself. I'm not quite sure where Lucian is at this point.
Yeah, he was dancing around trying to ult across to try and steal dragon. Minor comment. Vi needs to work on her smites because Twitch just stole dragon.
Yeah, I was a little worried there. I was sure that blue team was going to get it.
Yeah, I think that was a communication issue from blue side. They either need to be on the same page of, okay, we're only poking and using, let's say, a Lucian ult over the wall to try and steal it, or we're hard engaging, and in which case Lucian has to be at the fight.
The Morgana ult was incredible, but I'd have to say that the only time I want to see a Morgana going in by herself and getting an ultimate like that is if she has Zonia's, and she doesn't. For some reason, she built Rod of Ages, which I really disagree with.
I actually had to support Morgana build that in one of my games the other day, and I cried a million tears. Like, Hourglass first every time.
Hourglass. If you're going for damage, at least. I know some support Morganas that don't like to build damage, that don't like to build AP.
Yeah, but the active on it is just too good.
Yeah, it is. It is. I definitely agree with you.
Minor comment towards Singed. When Yasuo came down from his ult, he flipped him the wrong direction. Like out of tower. And I mean, it's not the end of the world, but that's something you need to question. You need to say, okay, what am I doing wrong? And that's one of the things you just did wrong.
Yeah, right now I'd really like blue team to group
Yeah.
group against purple team because that's the only way they're going to be winning fights. And blue team actually hasn't grouped entirely, but purple team has, and they've won a couple of fights with that.
At this point, they're about 5,000 gold down. If they're able to out-rotate, if they're able to catch someone out of position in the jungle, and they have some good wards in order to accomplish that, then they're going to be able to crawl their way back into this game relatively easily.
Blue team, yeah, blue team has incredible wards, but I feel like they're still not really aware of the map.
Mm-hmm.
While we see purple team with like kind of the opposite problem. Purple team hasn't had very many good wards this game, but they're pretty much aware of everyone who's on the map, where everyone else, where they're going to gank next.
Oh, someone in chat is saying, shouldn't Lucian focus on one item? And we already commented on that the second he built Sheen. You never build Trinity Force first. He needs to build his Bloodthirster first before any Trinity Force components, and then go for Trinity Force or a different build.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're going to go Vamp Scepter, you really should just build a Bloodthirster.
Mm-hmm. Well, he stopped building his Trinity Force in order to complete the Vamp Scepter. It's like, well, choose an item. If you're dead set on going for it, a ton of damage.
That was a little confusing, but so much damage going down into blue team there. Katarina just kind of takes the initiative and goes in completely by herself. That was really interesting. Not quite sure what blue team was doing there. They just kind of let Katarina do her full combo. And they kind of danced around it. Did you see that? Or?
Yeah, they didn't seem to have any easy way to cancel it. I do want to point out, though, if Katarina had DFG there, she would have been able to immediately pop the Lucian and able to reset and get a second combo. That would have been enough to do a 1v3 triple kill.
Yeah, that Katarina is going to be able to do that for a good part of this game because she is 8-1, and she has a good amount of farm and damage on her.
She still same complaints with her build though. She's gone for a Crystal Scepter, which is far too safe of an option given her level of her level of gold at this stage of the game, and then she went right into Death Cap, which doesn't solve any of Katarina's problems. It's not guaranteeing a reset. It's not countering magic resist.
Or lowering her cooldowns.
Yeah. Well, you usually don't build CDR on her, but she could get an Hourglass if she was able to like bait out fights. She could build a DFG if she wanted quick resets. She could be building Magic Pen and damage if she wanted to just like instantly burst tanks and like get resets on everyone. So I don't know. I just really dislike her build.
Blue team has been trying to split push this game mostly. And they've been able to take towers with it, but I really think at this point it's crucial to group. I really do, especially with, you know, Singed. Singed doesn't do very much attack damage or damage to towers. He's a good pusher, but I just don't see him sieging very well. And it looks like they will be able to kill Vi here. However, Zyra and Katarina will be coming here, and Katarina will be very easily able to pick up these 2 kills. Yeah, it's just this whole split pushing thing is not working.
There's also no reason for them to be sending 2 people split pushing. Singed is more than welcome to proxy farm. He could be running to any lane he wants, taking waves of farm, and then running away from people. That's what Singed does. But why Xin there then?
But Zin's out. Yeah, it doesn't make very much sense.
Yeah, now they're doing the exact same thing top, whereas Zed's trying to split push. He's going to get collapsed on and immediately taken down.
Every game is different, and you really just have to adapt to it. And if you try one strategy enough and it doesn't work, you just have to move on and realize it, I think. We also see this switch with a Renan's Hurricane. How do you feel about that?
I hate Hurricane.
I do too. Yeah.
It's actually good on kill right now. I've had to eat my words and say, oh my god, it's actually good on one single champion in the game.
Yeah.
But on Twitch, no.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there.
He could go Phantom Dancer, he could go Infinity Edge, he could go Last Whisper, like standard AD carry build, and he's just going to do so much more damage, because things actually stack multiplicatively then. With Hurricane, well, what's it doing for you? Okay, some attack speed and hitting multiple targets, but your ult already hits multiple targets. So I don't know. It's okay on Twitch, but it's not ideal.
For some reason, blue team not going into this fight. We saw a really good snare from Morgana, and then I'm guessing blue team is trying to collapse onto purple team right now, but that really should have happened so much sooner. I was going to say finally a fight for blue team to group and, you know, win.
Yeah,
But,
you need to take out those priority targets immediately.
And Zed just going in 1v3. He really doesn't have the farm or the feed to be doing that. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed. That could have been a really good fight from blue team because the Morgana, they caught Twitch out with a Morgana snare, and Morgana was ready to go in with Lucian behind her, and for some reason Cinch was still top, and someone else was still mid.
Okay, sorry, someone was saying that the person who won the RP card is not on North America. I'm just going to double check that. He's saying he wants to give it to his friend. I would rather re-roll it, but that's up to him. Is it going to be properly used on North America? Oh. Okay, sorry, apparently we're not allowed to do that.
So yeah, again, another instance where Morgana Zonias would have helped her team a lot. I don't see the Rod of Ages being useful at all.
Exactly, yeah. It's not that Rod of Ages is such a bad item on Morgana. It's that Hourglass is just crucial. You need it in order to do your job.
I just feel like Rod of Ages isn't an item that should be built on an AP support, really. On some AP mids, I can see it, but support Morgana. This will be the second dragon for purple team. Blue team will be trying to go into Yasuo, but they will be backing off. Zed's still not with the team. This could have also potentially been a good fight for blue team, but they're still way too split up to do this. It's getting to the point in the game where even if blue team does have a good fight, they're in a good position, and everyone's grouped, they probably still won't be able to win the fight.
It's a little too far gone.
Yeah, it is. This Yasuo with his 287 farm and his 8 kills.
That's the power of Yasuo. Just like as soon as you get those core items, you're one-shotting the entire minion wave. So that's why I want to see him, if they ever need to respond to split push, just send Yasuo, one-shot the wave, ruin their day, and the rest of your team can force a fight. Forcing a fight, roaming up mid, and just ending the game would be the ideal course of action for purple team at this stage. Any fight is theirs.
I'd also like to see some wards going down onto Baron. Even just like a pink ward from purple team onto Baron could force the fight pretty easily. The Yasuo wall is so useful, and I hate it so much.
It just makes your day horrible.
God, every time I play Nami against Yasuo, I want to like strangle someone.
Oh,
Like he just
it's so
blocks
frustrating.
my entire wave. How is that?
At least
Whatever.
versus Braum, you're knocking up him at least.
Yeah. Yes, I was just backing here in Morgana. I'm just having some fun. Zed, again, just by himself, top lane, just chilling out.
And another
Again,
kill.
yeah, the split pushing is just... I'm not even sure if I would call it split pushing because there was no way he was going to get a tower up there. It was already taken. I really hope blue team is talking to each other in this game because communication is so crucial and I feel like they have none. And it's hard sometimes when you're playing with random people, but it's something you have to get used to. And the higher you climb, the more people you'll find that, you know, you just won't have to say anything to. They'll understand.
Mm-hmm.
And again, blue team here, we just see so much lack of communication. Purple team just collapses on them and destroys them. Because they knew it was a 3v5. They knew Singe was falling.
Yeah, this is what I was saying.
Zed
If
was
they
dead.
just force mid, any team fight that they are able to force is going to go in their favor.
Mm-hmm. And these are things you should be aware of. Like, okay, where are their teammates? Where are my teammates? Can we do this fight? Is this a fair fight? You know, obviously there was a 3v5. They knew Singe was bot. They knew Zed was dead because of the push top lane. So just taking advantage of that will get you so ahead in this game.
Very nice binding, but not really going to turn into anything. Ooh, the teleporting behind this could be a very nice collapse, but yeah, nothing. A nice collapse that does absolutely nothing.
Yeah. At least blue team is trying now. It would have been nice to see this like 10 minutes ago. They're not going to be able to engage 5v5.
I'm just waiting and hoping that purple team is going to force something.
And they might just, because top lane is pushing pretty hard, that if these guys stay mid, they will get caught out like last time.
Mm-hmm. Alternatively, they
Something's
could
going
take a free
down to
Baron.
Baron. Yeah. Morgana going down onto one person. She will be going down as well. And yeah, I'm not quite sure why this engage happened. And it looks like this is GG.
Yeah, that should definitely be the end of the game if they decide to go for it. And that's one of our huge complaints in these workshops is people who don't end matches. I think they're going to go for it this time. No, instead Vi goes out and just gets taken down. I don't know why she's not sticking with her team and ending the game.
Well, I'm not too sure if Lucian and Zed will be able to defend this. So this tower and the inhib might still go down.
Katarina
Zed
getting
going
the
down
free
to
reset.
Katarina. And Katarina probably, nope, doesn't go onto Lucian.
It would have been pretty dangerous because he would have pulled her into tower.
Yeah, that last fight, that was about the third time that blue team has been around their own blue buff and just not fought successfully.
So instead of going for Baron or an inhib or anything along those lines, purple team has opted for a dragon. I really disagree with that choice, but at least they're getting something. It would have been worse to just see them be like, okay, we got a kill, let's go back to base. And I wish I was joking because that is something you see all the time in solo queue.
Oh yeah, yeah, all the time.
I need to
And
buy a
it's-
death cap.
it's hilarious because like 5 things will go down in different places. Like Baron, no dragon, no back, just back, and then people will be like, okay, well back. It's especially frustrating when people argue about which objective to get, that they get it so late. Like, they get it 5 minutes after the decision is made, and then the enemy team just destroys.
Yep.
Again, I'd really like to see purple team trying to force Baron. That would be such an easy bait, just putting down a pink ward and waiting for blue team to arrive. And purple team has been really successful just fighting in the enemy jungle and in that area.
The fact that they're on Baron but not doing Baron makes me so angry.
Yeah.
Like, between Yasuo and Twitch alone, like, just have someone tank it.
Yeah, they really could do that. Just have some people around mid lane, just distracting a bit. But Vi just takes so much damage.
And that really boils down to her incredibly offensive build. She's built no defenses whatsoever.
Yeah, some pings going down to Baron. I think purple team will be just taking it because they know that blue team can't really contest it. Or if they do, then it's probably a 5v5 in their favor. And so much damage going on to Baron. Do you see this? This is literally taken in 1 second.
Yeah, and that's why we've been calling for it for so long. So purple team's a little bit split up in how they're chasing. It shouldn't make a difference though. Just cycle directly through mid and end the game. At this stage, with Baron up and with how many items and how many kills they have, they can just walk in and they can even dive both turrets. It really doesn't matter.
They could take it in both turrets. I agree. Or even just let the minions push and take the turrets directly. They have enough AD damage for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, same reason as Baron. I mean, Yasuo and Twitch, just boom, they're gone.
Yeah, it's gonna be gone in a second. I mean, even at this point, oh, okay, it just looked like, nope, never mind. Purple team looked like they were going to initiate there for a second.
Twitch appears to be AFK.
Oh. In that case, then they should just go bot lane.
Yeah.
And try and push that tower and inhibitor. I mean, for whatever reason Twitch is gone, they could still take it, the 4 of them. I'm surprised why Game Pause isn't coming out.
Honestly, I don't think they need it. They can end right now. Katarina just got the resets. That is 4 people dead.
Yeah, right.
Alright, that's an ace. Please just end the game now, guys. Great job to Purple Team for ending. I want to give props as well for not seeing any real trash talking in all chat. We do try and keep these streams as positive as possible and focused on how people can improve and how they can communicate better, rather than OGG noob allies, that sort of bullshit that you see all the time in solo queue. So do you have any comments on final build, playstyle, things that could have gone a little bit better there?
Just pretty much what we said throughout the whole game. The Morgana Rod of Ages, the Katarina's a lack of early damage items. Also the Runan Hurricane from Twitch. I'm not quite sure. Oh, the Triforce start from Lucian as well.
Mm-hmm. I also really don't like the full offensive build from Vi personally. She has 3 damage items and is building towards what looks to be another Sheen, which doesn't stack, first of all, but there needs to be some defensive items in there. I'm fine with, let's say, 2 items. Let's say Lizard Elder and Brutalizer. But then you need to be building some defenses.
Yeah, no, definitely. The ranch ones from Zed also seems a little random, but I can kind of understand why he bought it.
It's not the worst choice ever. I mean, Randuin's is still a very powerful item. If I were him, though, he could have gone something like a Banshee's Veil.
Yeah, that's what I would have preferred to see as a defensive item.
Yeah. Overall, pretty good job. No huge complaints there. I believe we've just hit 6,000 followers, so we are going to be doing a bonus RP giveaway. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, Brian is going to start matchmaking for the next game, I believe.